The CEO of the company you work for is trying to replace you with artificial intelligence. My name is Casey. I'm a member of the party that wants to elect an AI for president in 2028, replace them before they replace us. But I want to tell you today about how you can flip the script, how you can use artificial intelligence to create your own company and dominate your former employer. The truth is, AI is going to put all of us out of work eventually. You might as well replace your old boss before they replace you. And here's exactly what I'm thinking. We're going to try and justify this. I know it sounds crazy, but stick with me here. The current economic climate is a disaster. Even before the tariffs, it looks like we were going into a recession. And now that we have both of those on top of each other, things are probably going to get pretty bad. Lots of people are already going to get laid off. Prices are going to skyrocket. The market is trash. We're just in for a trash time. It's not going to be good. If that wasn't bad enough, tons of people were already laid off in 2024. Here at the beginning of 2025, we had all the Doge cuts. A bunch of people are out of jobs, looking for work. Competition is extremely tough. And if you are one of those people that have been laid off, my advice to you is to think about using that unemployment period. If you can, God bless. I understand if you have a family and you got to get back to work right away, praying for you. But if you can, use this time to create a company that solves an issue that your old company experienced or your old customers experienced or you are familiar with through your old work life, and use artificial intelligence to run circles around the competition. I have been meeting with so many companies lately in workshops and networking events, and they all are saying the same thing. They understand that AI is going to be the future. They understand that they need to adopt it. They're already using it to stop hiring or replace workers as they can. But overall, they are too afraid to adopt it wholesale. They are too stuck in their ways to mandate their employees use it. I was talking to one employer who was telling me he was the CTO of a company, and he was telling me that he had told his people not to upload any company documents into the AI system that they were granted access to because they didn't want sensitive information leaking out. And 6 months later, when he checked in with his employees, they hadn't used those AI systems at all because they were all too afraid of leaking that sensitive information. That company is now 6 months behind where you could be if you had started up a competitor based fully on utilizing artificial intelligence and the benefits it gives you. This is not a crazy thing. This has happened in paradigm shifts all the time. Southwest, the airplane line, gained market share during recessions by innovating, by offering lower priced fares, by offering more direct and circuitous routes when Delta and United were just, I don't know, eating their own sandwiches. Some of these references were put in and verified by artificial intelligence. So, if it gets it wrong, say it loudly. That being said, if you do have to go back into the job market, it is hell right now. 98% of HR is using artificial intelligence to vet resumes. And if you aren't using AI to try and get around that vetting process, you're already messing up. Even if you aren't going to start your own company, at the very least, as somebody participating in the job market, you should be using whatever tools you can to get your foot in the door. This is now an arms race. If you are not participating in the AI evolution, you're falling behind. You are going to get eaten. Now, even at the most pessimistic levels, I want to share a message of hope. AI is accelerating so quickly, so chaotically in so many different directions all at once that I have no doubt it is going to replace every single job, not just all the coding jobs, not just all the marketing jobs, not just all the artist jobs, but every single job, probably within the next 2 years. So, at the very least, even if you can't get a job in your field, even if things are hopeless, even if you continuously are being crushed, hang on, just hang in there. Within 2 years, everybody in the world is going to be in your shoes. I include all the blue collar jobs there. I'll make another video on that later, but those jobs are not safe either. Once we have general intelligence, or even a little ways after that, super intelligence, it is going to be able to figure out how to automate those blue collar jobs in ways that no human can predict, because that is how a general intelligence and a super intelligence works. They can see solutions, they can come up with solutions to problems that no human could have ever envisioned. That's the whole point. But in the meantime, if you can start your own business, think about some of these basic advantages. If you were a company that contracted for the creation of its website, if you worked at a company that contracted for marketing, oftentimes those contractors were charging your company tens of thousands of dollars to complete jobs that now even a relatively basic artificial intelligence can provide for you. If you do have some area of expertise, you could cut that fee in fifth and still be making a profit by utilizing AI tools to make your business more efficient. This is not just true for tools like uh, website creation and marketing, but this is true for all areas of corporate life. This is why big companies are going to fail and fail so hard. It has never been more true. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. These companies are worried about security risks using AI, but as an independent solo entrepreneur who's utilizing these tools, those security risks will become your advantage. If you are using AI to create all of your own tools, then you are basically unhackable. You don't have the vulnerability of using a Salesforce. You don't have the vulnerability of having hundreds or thousands of other people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people utilizing your internal systems. You can build everything from scratch yourself and save not only a ton of time and money doing so, but you can also make those tools much more secure, because a hacker would have to get inside your head to have access to your entire system in order to hack those products that you have created from scratch yourself. Ethical uncertainties. Again, an artificial intelligence created this PowerPoint from me. There are going to be hiccups. I don't really know why it pulled that out of my script. I have nothing to say about only 47% of HR leaders comfortable using AI for layoffs. There are still hiccups in here, but it took me literally 5 minutes to outline this PowerPoint and then create it with another AI tool. In a worst case scenario, I could go back and spend another 5 minutes fixing this. You know what I'm saying? That is where I think you have to fill in the gap with these AI solutions. You have to figure out where are the places that companies are not only providing a bad service, where are they providing no service? Using your expertise, using your experience, or even just getting out there on the street and talking with people, talking with local business leaders. What are they failing to provide that even if you go in and you provide a bad version of right now, an ethically uncertain version of, what can you rapidly iterate on and prove over time with these AI tools that you can provide? This is the fact. There is such an expertise shortage right now because these systems have developed so quickly. It has been what, less than 2 years since we had major proliferation of these AI models. No business has been able to move fast enough to incorporate these things as quickly as they should. If you can show them that, then you can take their money as a consultant, even as you cannibalize their market. So pick a lane. Are you going to go after the companies that exploited your labor and abused your time and sell them services at a fraction of the cost they were paying for them while still making a buttload of money as a solo entrepreneur yourself? Or are you going to think about where those companies drop the ball and utilize your newfound AI expertise in order to prey on that market segment. Using AI really is a superpower. AI is doubling in capability every 3 to 4 months. And I have 6 months crossed in there because that was the statistic I had heard just a few months ago. AI is not only continuously improving, it is continuously improving faster and faster. It is able to handle more complex tasks. It is able to handle longer context windows to process more information. So even if you get in on the ground floor now and things aren't where you need them to be to have a marketable product, within the next 3 to 6 months, those capabilities are going to double and then double again. And by then, surely you will be able to put something together that can make you some money, can make you some bread. And the greatest thing is your intro costs here are super low. These tools are crazy affordable. Even on my relatively small budget, I can still afford access to 3 or 4 of the highest quality AI tools there are. I'm not going to go down this route personally with this automation piece because I don't really want to automate content creation, uh, scheduling, marketing. I don't necessarily want to push it in that direction because that's not my background. But I am utilizing the coding and I guess even the content creation, if you count this PowerPoint for YouTube, I am utilizing that. So, yes, you can save thousands of dollars and create a professional looking and seeming product for so little. These are all the areas that I've used AI personally to save myself what would have previously cost me thousands of dollars. Forming the business itself, AI gave me an exact list to do, an exact list of everything I need to present to the state for my LLC creation, and made it super simple for me to send in those documents. Accounting. How much does an accountant cost in terms of either time for an initial business owner or salary for a more established business? I think with all the tools that exist right now, you can get that same benefit of a 50-hour accountant using a subscription service that costs you 20 hours a month. Financial projections or more explicit industry specific tools. This is a CRM that I got an AI coder to make for me in just a few minutes. And look at how advanced it is. Not a few minutes. It took me about 2 hours to get to this level, but still, it is incredible what I am able to do in here beyond having to use like a basic spreadsheet. In any of my past sales roles, access to a tool, even like this, would have cost me something in the order of, I don't know, $10 a month, $50 a month. I'm already saving and creating something which is immediately usable for my purposes and customizable to my preferences. This was where the tool was 20, 30 minutes ago. It didn't even have a task feature that I was able to access. And now look at how much better it looks and functions. I can actually complete tasks and change the calendar. That's the next thing I'm going to do. So all of these improvements are possible. All of these implementations are possible with little to no expertise yourself. You don't have to be an expert in any of these things. You just have to be able to speak and use in artificial intelligence. And this is the benefit that going into business for yourself right now offers you. The market is going to continue to get worse from the employee perspective. More and more jobs are going to be automated at a very chaotic pace. It's impossible to say what jobs AI will be able to replace in the next 6 to 12 months that nobody saw coming. Whoever thought that the artists would be the first to be replaced by AI art generation? Whoever thought that coders would be next? 5 years ago, we were talking about truckers needing to learn to code. And now look at how that script has flipped. Even if there is a job that right now looks unbelievably safe, some improvement in these systems 8 months down the road might completely obliterate that for nothing but the cost of a $20 a month subscription. But even if you aren't able to successfully make it with your own company, you should still be looking at this because while the economy lasts, AI is going to be the most in demand skill there is. So, at the very least, even if you can't make your company float, I think you should try because you will have a program, you'll have software, you'll have something that you can show to potential employers to demonstrate that you are on the leading edge of this technological wave. And I can't imagine that any employer worth working for wouldn't be looking for that as it is. Eventually, and I think, again, within the next 2 years or so, even the CEOs of these organizations are going to be replaced. So I don't think that running your own business is a safe endeavor by any means. But at the very least, putting yourself at the top of one of these pyramids might give you the chance to sell out, to recognize when the AI wave is about to swallow even your business and make a hopefully lucrative exit on your own terms. That is, I think, the best any of us can ask for as we watch the end of our glorious capitalism, our glorious economic system come to what is potentially a final end. I do believe that we are headed towards a world where AI will be able to provide abundance and unbelievable opportunity for every person, regardless of their financial position. So even if you can't go this company creation route, take hope, have faith, hang in there. Again, hang in there. But in the meantime, if you are trying to decide what company you should create, what business endeavor you want to use AI to pursue, and you don't necessarily have an immediate way or thought about how to make money with that endeavor, I think you should follow your passions. What are the tools and objects that you want to have in your own life, in your own world? Forget even your customers. By the time this AI revolution is through, the only person that you will have to be concerned about providing for is yourself. What are your passions, your interests? What things are you what things are you most in love with? And do you want to provide for? Is it your kids? Create entertainment, create puzzles, create toys for your kids. Is it your community? Figure out where the holes are in your community and build for that. Even if you can't make a sustainable business off of it, you can likely create a tool that will be invaluable to somebody extremely close to you. And I think that is the greatest resource any of us could have right now are these community connections, are the people around you. There's a huge psyop going on where people are trying to say that the elites will be able to replace all of us with these robot tools and eventually make it so 99% of us are irrelevant. I don't have anything besides faith to say that that's not true. So maybe it is. Maybe that is where the world is going. But I do have faith that that's not going to be the case, that the AI will be smart enough to take a path that utilizes all of us collectively, individually, and makes it so that each of us are able to contribute in the world in a way that is irreplaceable, that is necessary, that benefits the whole, benefits everyone. So if you see that vision and you want to dive into this, start small, scale fast. Just put something out there. Capabilities are improving on such a rapid basis that you might have a completely different set of tools at your disposal tomorrow. So I think just publishing something every day you can is a huge benefit. Rapidly iterate, build that MVP quickly. And again, I think this Gamma tool I use to create this PowerPoint might be sponsored by Canva or something because I never specified that. But spend as little as you can. Push out those tools as fast as you can. And then use social media. X.com has been a fantastic resource in terms of building stuff and getting recognition for building stuff. From what I've seen, accounts there have grown immensely. And after a little while, who knows? You might not even have to rely on the company itself. You could rely on the social media presence that you are using to advertise your product to fund your lifestyle. If you do that, if you rely on providing a basic level of value that builds over time for your customers using these tools, you are going to grow so much faster than any of your competitors possibly can. And even if I am not a good example of this myself yet, there are tens of companies out there being built by practically teenagers who are showing this, who are demonstrating this. They are building for the future. And because of that, they are going to bury all these companies that were built in the past. As far as my own program goes, this is the party, and we are obsessed with the idea of electing an AGI president in 2028, not because we necessarily want to be governed by an AGI, but because we see a path towards making that the best possible, the most democratic, the most agency promoting future for literally all Americans. I'll have more about this in the near future, but I am going to be utilizing this framework myself, putting my money where my mouth is, so to speak, and starting my own company journey here in the near future. I've already started on this journey by building out my own AI generated website. We're here. Contact us. And again, I have no coding experience, but it's happening. It's really working. We're getting stuff done. It's exciting and terrifying all at once. And if you do want to be a part of my journey, I think the more and more I share of this endeavor, the better and better it's going to go in the future with all these AI tools. That the artificial intelligence we are being given access to is not just at the silicone layer, is not just at the tool layer with ChatGPT and Gemini and all these different company offerings, but it's also at the personal layer. When I watch some of these large scale streamers interact with their audience, it is like they are interacting with an AI. They're being given benefits and advantages from interacting with their community in the same way that the rest of us plebs, us non-famous individuals, are being given access to with the artificial intelligences. And it makes sense, right? Because AI is itself a collective of all of our information in the same way that an audience is a collective giving information to a figurehead, to a streamer, to a content creator. That is the kind of environment that I think will be more and more valuable to people as these technologies progress. And if you want to be a part of this effort to not only benefit ourselves, but benefit all of America, hopefully all of society, eventually participate in AI benefiting the entire world, then join us. Tell us, what kind of party do you want? And help us make it a reality.